After I read the script and how I visualized the film was, thank God we're shooting in New York. And then I found out we were shooting in Rhode Island for New York.
Shepard's job was really hard. That was a big challenge for him of having to make Rhode Island, New York. I think he did a great, great job. And we utilized our little time in New York to the best of our ability to really pull from the city to tie it all together. And I think we succeeded in that.
Are those?
No.
Are those?
No.
What occurred to me was that the film is about this woman's experience. So it's really about her home, her workplace, and all of the wedding events that she attends. There were so many weddings, it was crazy. But ultimately, you're kind of mass producing them. I had boards full of just wedding research on the movie that Ann and I discussed. So we were trying to decide what is the most graphic and iconic, and how do you sell something really quickly. I felt like the production as a whole did a great job at capturing several different environments as weddings and how it tells that story. So I feel really good about that part of the story.
The sets Shepard designed were spectacular. Besides the weddings that he designed, which he did an unbelievable job of just making those look like great weddings. And he did a great job with Heigl's apartment also, which is, feels very authentically East Village-y and, realistic, but still has her personality throughout the whole thing.
Her apartment is like another character in the film for Catherine, because when she's trying on these 27 dresses in her house, the closet that she has her 27 dresses in, it read in the script it's as big as a one-bedroom apartment or something, but ultimately what we did is a lot of apartments in New York City over time are subdivided. So some of the logic that Ann and I came up with was the closet was an old pantry from another apartment on the same floor, which warranted it to be a little bit bigger and to have a little bit of grander architecture. Ed Burns' character's office, it was basically a business where the owner, Ed Burns, was an outdoor enthusiast, but he was also a businessman. So we kind of decided, let's turn this into a green, eco-friendly building material. So I used, 4-inch corrugated cardboards. I used shipping containers that we cut up and put them into the space and painted them as transition and office conference spaces. We used a recycled wood. We used eco-friendly carpets and stuff like that.
George's office was the coolest set in the world. I wish I worked in that office. And everything was sort of recycled goods. And even there's furniture in the office. And it felt great. And the movie takes place, what's nice about it is there's not a lot that takes place in George's office, but what does feels credible and real and very New York and very realistic.
Oh, Dad, this place looks exactly the same.
My favorite place he designed in the movie is Hal's Hardware and Hal's apartment, the dad. It was a practical location. Shepard did a bang-up job with the hardware store, which was just an empty shell. And you just wanted to feel like it was something of yesteryear, that this is a man whose wife died, and he continued living his world. Not that he was trapped, but he lived as if she still was alive. And that's kind of how the apartment is for me as well. Like, you would imagine that the mom would come out of the kitchen at any minute, but she just wasn't there. So I love the warmth of it and the reality. And you really see that there are reflections of their parents. You really get that from his place and his hardware store.
Do I have a favorite set on the film? I love turning nothing into something. That's what I love. And sometimes it's fun to go into locations and really have everyone I cannot believe we're shooting here. What is he seeing? And they see a beautiful illustration of what it's going to be. And then they show up 2, 3, 4 weeks later, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this looks like this now. Like that, I love. It definitely happened on stage and happened at the bridal shop, happened at Urban Everest. So I have a soft spot for all of them. They're like my children,